Have you ever just stopped and watched your cat who's staring like super intensely at a wall that's completely blank? You're looking, they're looking, and you're thinking, what in the world are they seeing? Well, let's get into it because the world through a cat's eyes is so different from our own. It's almost like a different dimension.
Right? It's that classic moment every cat person knows, that laser focused stare into what looks like absolutely nothing to us. But what if I told you they're actually seeing a whole world of detail that's completely invisible to you and me? That's what we're going to explore today.
Okay, so here's the bottom line. Cat vision and human vision are basically specialized tools for totally different jobs. We humans, we're built for daylight. Our eyes are all about seeing vibrant colors and super fine details. Cats, though, they are absolute masters of the twilight. Their eyes are built to be predator perfect, spotting the tiniest movement in the shadows, all thanks to incredible night vision and a much wider view of the world. So let's kick things off with their most famous superpower, that incredible night vision. And I'm telling you, it's not just some old wives' tale. Their eyes are legitimate biological marvels, precision engineered to work in what we would consider almost total darkness. They really do own the night. And it all makes sense when you think about their history as hunters. Cats are what's called crepuscular, which is just a fancy way of saying their prime time to party and hunt is at dawn and dusk. This is exactly why their vision evolved the way it did. It's perfectly optimized for those low light conditions when all their favorite prey is scurrying around. So, what's the secret weapon? What's the tech behind this superpower? Well, it's this amazing thing called the tapetum lucidum. The easiest way to think about it is like a perfectly placed mirror right behind the retina. Any little bit of light that the eye's photoreceptors miss on the first pass gets bounced right back for a second chance. And hey, this is also what gives them that spooky, glowing eye effect in photos. And the result of this little mirror, it is just astonishing. This system is so incredibly efficient that cats can see in light that is up to 6 times dimmer than what we need to see anything at all. I mean, that's a mind-blowing advantage when you're trying to find a meal in the twilight. But that tapetum isn't their only trick. Nope, their entire eye is like a finely tuned machine for low light. They've got a huge cornea to slurp up as much light as possible. Those iconic vertical pupils that can open up super wide in the dark and then shrink to a tiny slit in bright light to protect their sensitive retinas. And speaking of the retina, theirs is absolutely packed with rod cells, which are the specialists for seeing in black and white and detecting motion in the dark. All right, so that's the night vision. Let's move on to their other big superpower, which is their insane sensitivity to motion. If night vision is about when they hunt, then their motion detection is all about what they hunt. Think about it from a predator's point of view. Seeing a crystal clear, high-definition photo of a mouse isn't nearly as useful as seeing the faintest little twitch of its ear in the tall grass. A cat's whole visual system is geared towards prioritizing movement over everything else. It makes them experts at spotting those tiny, telltale signs that scream, prey. So this chart shows something really cool called flicker fusion frequency. It's basically a measure of how fast a brain can process individual images into a smooth movie. For us humans, it's about 60 hertz. But for cats, they're way up there at 80 hertz. So what does that actually mean for them? Well, it means this. An old TV that refreshed at 60 hertz probably didn't look like a smooth video to your cat. To them, it would have looked like a crazy flickering strobe light. It's because they literally see the world faster than we do, which is an incredible advantage when you're trying to track a tiny mouse darting across the floor. And on top of seeing faster, they see wider. While our field of view is about 180 degrees, a cat's is 200 degrees. That extra peripheral vision is absolutely crucial for scanning their surroundings, letting them spot a potential threat or a tasty snack, creeping up at the very edge of their vision. Okay, so cats have these amazing visual superpowers. But as with everything, evolution is all about trade-offs. To get those incredible abilities in low light and motion detection, they had to give something else up. And what did they give up? Well, it's long-distance clarity. A cat's visual sweet spot is right around 20 feet. Anything much further away than that, it starts to get pretty blurry and out of focus. And that's a massive difference. Where we might see a crisp, detailed tree line 100 feet away, a cat sees a world of soft focused shapes and colors. By our standards, they're pretty nearsighted. They're built to focus on what's right in front of them, inside their immediate hunting zone. So how do they handle things that are super close? I'm talking right under their nose.
Well, since their vision is a little blurry up close too, they use another amazing tool, their whiskers. Those sensitive whiskers can feel and see the world right in front of them, detecting tiny air currents and textures. It's fascinating.
So let's put it all together in a quick showdown. When it comes to sharpness or acuity, a cat's vision is about 2150. That means what we can see clearly from 150 feet away, they need to be just 20 feet away to see. But they totally win on field of view, and they absolutely crush us when it comes to night vision. And then there's the whole question of color.
Right, so the old myth that cats only see in black and white, it's just not true. They do see color, but it's not the rich rainbow world that we see. They're what's called dichromats, which means their vision is strongest with blues, violets, and greenish yellows. So what about reds and pinks? To them, those colors probably just look like different shades of blue or green. Their world is just a bit more muted and desaturated than ours. Okay, this is all really cool science, but how can we use it? Now that we understand how they see, we can actually make our homes a much better, more engaging place for them. Let's look at a few practical tips.
First off, since their color vision is limited, pick out toys and beds that have bold, contrasting patterns. That'll make them pop and be easier for your cat to see. Second, you've got to play to their strengths. Engage that incredible motion sense with things like feather wands or laser pointers. Third, their eyes are so sensitive, so give them cozy, shaded spots to hide away from bright, harsh daylight. And finally, a little soft ambient lighting at night can make their evening patrols even easier for them. So let's bring it all back to where we started, that mysterious stare at his seemingly blank wall. Now we know they're not seeing ghosts. They could literally be tracking a tiny speck of dust dancing in an air current, or a super subtle shift in the light reflecting off the paint. Details that are completely beyond our ability to perceive.
We've just taken a deep dive into the mechanics of how a cat sees the world. But that just raises an even bigger question. As they sit there, processing this world of motion and shadows and muted colors, what do you think is really going through their minds?